The 23rd day of September has fallen on today, which is also Wednesday, for which we're also glad to have you being a part of the show. A lot of clouds out there, more to come, showers to come as well. And speaking of around the corner, so to speak, the forecast will not necessarily show it. It will start to show the downward trend, but I don't know if tonight's forecast, I do know, I've already seen it and getting ready to post it on your screen. It will not show what could be some even much colder air thereafter the 7-day outlook. Forecasters are starting to shed some light on a pattern that could be in store for the United States next week. To the western part of the United States, summer-like heat, record highs. The eastern half of the United States, including all of Kentucky, well, we could be hit by a great deal of Arctic air that is expected to just take a dive into the eastern half of the nation and over Kentucky. Record highs in the western part of the United States late next week, record lows in the eastern half of the United States. The coldest air possibly since last spring is what we could be talking about in the eastern part of the United States next week. High pressure coming down from northern Canada, taking a ride along the jet stream, and just a very consistent, I'll say, stream of cold air directly from the Arctic could be headed towards us late next week, Friday into Saturday. So forecast outlook won't necessarily reflect that, but just a little FYI for you there. Headlines tonight will include an update on local COVID-19 cases, as well as those from the state. We'll touch briefly tonight, as I have not, as it, of course, is not a local story and has not been, but it is one that, of course, has gripped Kentucky and the nation. And we will refer to the case of Breonna Taylor as she was referred to today by our governor during his address and other state officials, touching just briefly on that. As Louisville, I am fearful, is set to be what could be a scene of chaos tonight in respect to today's announcements. But officials, including Kentucky's Attorney General, trying to shed some light today on that finding by the grand jury in Louisville. So with that said, I'll begin with our local COVID update right after these local messages.
Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. It's hard to describe the t-shirt lines and looks in right now at the seasonal shop, but I'm going to try. 2 of them are made right here in KY, Ridge and Holler, because, in Kentucky, you're always in one or the other, and both are always beautiful. Just check these designs out. The other is Yonder, and it's made in Pikeville, and it's just as cool and creative and all Kentucky. Definitely something there to appeal to everyone. And the ever-popular Turnrow brand, also at the seasonal shop for all fans of anything farming. And you can come into the shop and experience the magic of perfectly chilled drinks. For regular and slim cans, regular or even wine bottles, cups, and more. It's the Cadillac of koozies by Brewmate. All colors and styles in stock right now at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop.
Hello, Bob Hutchison here for Hutch Jeep, and we're having our back-to-school sales event. Buy any pre-owned vehicle and you'll receive a $250 gift card, or when you buy a new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, or Ram, you can get a $500 gift card for back-to-school shopping. Right now, save up to $14,000 on new Ram trucks, and there's several to choose from. And remember, the Hutch Guarantee.
Brand new at your Sayersville Lee's, and for a limited time, it's sticky sweet and it's bringing the heat. Their new spicy bourbon dippers. You get an all-new taste, nothing short of amazing. They take their spicy jumbo dippers, toss them in a kicked-up sweet bourbon sauce for a flavor that you're only going to find at Lee's. But don't wait.
This spicy specialty is only here for a limited time and only at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
Go to Conley Tire in Staffordsville or ConleyTire.net right now and get $200 back on a new set of Goodyears, $100 on new Generals, Coopers, Bridgestones, and Mickey Thompsons, all with the smoothest balancing Snap-on has to offer. And if your ride has a light on, let their state-of-the-art Zeus diagnostic machine figure it out for only $35 at Conley Tire.
First, I want to say yes, you're right to several viewers which called and messaged to let me know before even 6:30 last night. Margaret Isaac, for example, leaving a message letting me know that I had failed to present any local COVID numbers last night. I had actually, just upon getting up from the desk at about 6:32, your time, realized as such when it was still in the to-do pile and not the done pile. My apologies. To summarize up until and including last night, however, in regards to local COVID-19 cases, McGoffin County had gone several days in a row without any positive cases. However, positive cases being reported in the last 24 hours. Pete, we've kind of gone back and forth here as of the past several weeks. We there for a while were averaging 2 positive cases a day, went down to 1, saw several days without any positive cases, then saw a small flurry of some. Now we've gone, I think, it's 5 or 6 days without any positive cases, but that ends today, I understand.
Yes, it ended today. We was keeping our fingers crossed, hoping we keep right on it going, but this morning we had a positive case, female, worked in Moorhead at a medical facility. Had a co-worker test positive last week, and they tested all their employees Monday, and she came back positive today. Very few contacts in the county. She just worked down there and come back and forth, so not a big problem there. And just before I left work this evening, just got a text just a few minutes ago that we had one more positive case. It'll be a female, but I have no details on that, so we'll make 2 for today.
Puts us at 91 total, I think.
91, yeah, we had 90 with the one this morning, and this will make 91. Mm-hmm. And we was going to come out of isolation today. Would have been 0 isolated cases until we took one out today, and then we had to put one right back in when the positive case this morning.
Real quickly, I covered per the Sayersville City Council meeting this week that after some discussion, the council decided to go ahead and, as many other cities have done, to have trick or treat. I think we're all kind of wondering, everyone, I think most everyone excited and also a little concerned as well about how we're going to kind of do that. Have you any guidance yet from the state, CDC, or anyone? What are you guys going to try to encourage everyone to do?
Well, we're gonna wait till we get our guidelines from the state and CDC first of all, but then the state's really the one that really gives us all the guidelines that we go by. Yes, it'll be a little different with the mask. I know they recommended that you wear, even if you're wearing a false face mask, you still have to wear a mask underneath that. Is one of the guidelines I've seen from the CDC. But now the state, we're waiting on them guidelines. And as long as we don't spike up into the red, if we have a whole bunch of cases that during that week before Halloween, then it would be canceled. But if it stays where we're at in the yellow, with the cases we're having now, it'll go on as usual. We'll probably be recommending that most kids, just use social distance. And I don't know how they're going to do about giving the candy out. That'll be one of the things that we'll have to go over with the state and find out how they want us to do that.
But you'll be contacting me. We'll be trying to get that out to everyone as soon as we have that set.
Oh yeah, as soon as I get that information, we'll get it out. We'll probably send out stuff with the kids at school and stuff like that, so that everybody will know, get all the information they need. But things like the Thriller Dance and things like that, Renaissance is talking about maybe having a ghost walk with certain specific things that the kids would have to do, like social distance and come at different times. So. There's some things that we can still do, but like the Thriller Dance with so many people in town, we'll not be able to do that. So it'll just be basically trick or treat on that Saturday night from 6 to 8.
Up next, coverage of a relatively brief session of the McGoffin County Fiscal Court yesterday afternoon with one primary purpose, and that approving the dispersal of funds via grants to many McGoffin County businesses and nonprofits. As was announced for several weeks, local businesses and nonprofits had until Friday of last week to apply for $2,000 grants for businesses and $1,000 grants for nonprofits. Surprisingly, not all the money, most but not all the money, was applied for.
We have allocated up to 50. We have 46 applicants for the small business grant, and you have that list before you. I'm not going to read it all the way through. We're going to submit it to the press and publish it on social media. Is there any questions or comments on the 46? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve item number 5, the CARES Act Small Business Grants.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 6 is to approve award the CARES Act nonprofit grants. We had 16 of those, and that met the criteria, and we'll be issuing checks to them. Be the same way. We will provide the listing of all applicant awardees on social media and in the local press. Any questions or comments on that?
As for receiving those grants, those checks, I spoke with the judge's office earlier today, and they were busy notifying all those who had applied and who were going to receive those funds. So if you did not receive a call by the end of business today, you may want to call the judge's office in the morning or check your messages that they were trying to reach all the nonprofits and local businesses that applied before the end of close today. And you'll be able to come in and pick up the checks at the judge's office. Today's meeting did have another topic of discussion, however, before adjourning, and that was approving about $191,000 in flex funding for a total of 6 McGoffin County roads. We've covered that list of roads and that flex funding in past meetings, with the judge accepting that $191,000 today in the fiscal court, and also saying that he'd submitted a request for discretionary funding that he was hopeful of getting to resurface Jake Wireman Fork, with the state currently evaluating that request.
As soon as we send this in, they approve it. We go ahead and schedule blacktop in those 6 roads, repaving them. I also, as I told you, I submitted the discretionary request for Jake Wireman, where the emergency tore that road up, and they've sent it back and said they received it and they're evaluating it at this time. So I've got my fingers crossed on that. I'll be able to get that took care of too. I know we've got several others that we'll be putting on the next flex application, and we'll discuss those in later meetings. But I know there's lots of folks, everybody wants a new blacktop. I really understand it, and I appreciate their concerns. But we've got these 6 roads that we've evaluated, and they're good to go for the state.
Next, an updated McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar this Wednesday. Just a couple of quick reminders, but important ones nonetheless. The first one, that the next McGoffin County Community Blood Drive is this Friday, 1 to 5 at the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center. Call to schedule your donation, 1-800-775-2522. The Kentucky Blood Center will be there Friday from 1 till 5. And flu shots are there and waiting for you at the McGoffin County Health Department Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 until 3, Tuesdays, 8 until 4, Fridays, 8 until noon. Call 349-6212. And I'm here waiting for your calendar announcement. That's birthdays and anniversaries too. You can phone, fax, email, drop in the actual mail, or Facebook them to me. We also, of course, do birth announcements, birthdays, things of that nature, and anniversaries for free in the Sayersville Independent as well. And if you would like to see them there, well, it's a different address. Email them simply to Joe, J-O, at SayersvilleIndependent.com. Funeral services this Monday include those which have now been set in the honor of John Harris, 58-year-old Jonathan John Harris of Sayersville, who passed away on Monday, the son of the late Doc Harris and Alma Owens Pulliam, who survives. He's as well survived by his wife Eileen and daughters Tasha Harris, Savannah Harris, Gina Holloway, Lindsay Perkins, and Stevie Kahn, brothers Ricky Harris and Dwayne Harris, sister Paula McCarty, and 6 grandkids. Graveside services have been set for this Friday at 1 for John at the Harris Cemetery on Corn Fork. Friends can call on the funeral home, the McGoffin County Funeral Home, for visitation Thursday evening from 6 until 9. We've also learned of the passing today of Florette Nadine Burke, 84, of Oil Springs, who passed away on today's date. Arrangements incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Go with All Pro, and you'll always get a perfectly finished project backed by decades of experience and thousands of satisfied customers. Always with the best prices on everything from small to large remodels, bathrooms to kitchens to entire homes, or turnkey new construction on everything from garages, homes to retail space. And seamless gutters too. And All Pro still offers 0% financing for up to 18 months and long-term low interest rates on those big projects. For an estimate, call this family-owned business today. Summer heat and no AC make for a miserable drive. But don't sweat it. Call Black Smoke Performance in Sayersville for inspection, diagnostics, and repair by qualified technicians with the latest technology and equipment. Don't suffer in the summer heat. Get your air conditioning fixed today at Black Smoke Performance.
Hello, Bob Hutchison here for Hutch Jeep, and we're having our back to school sales event. Buy any pre-owned vehicle and you'll receive a $250 gift card, or when you buy a new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, or Ram, you can get a $500 gift card for back to school shopping. Right now, you can take advantage of Hutch employee pricing on every pre-owned vehicle. And remember, the Hutch Guarantee.
Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400. Before Governor Beshear got to his daily address, another high number of confirmed cases of coronavirus in Kentucky, another uptick in our positivity rate. He did, as well as did other officials, spend a considerable amount of time talking about today's announcement from the grand jury currently seated in Louisville, and that from Kentucky's Attorney General Daniel Cameron. This following the revelation that one of the three police officers involved in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor back in March was indicted today, the other two not. And the one officer that was indicted on 3 counts of wanton endangerment in the first degree related to a shooting, the shooting that resulted in bullets being fired into a neighboring apartment, but no charges directly related to Taylor's death.
As governor, I cannot control decisions made by an attorney general's office. I cannot control decisions made by a grand jury. And I don't lead local law enforcement offices.
Beshear going on to say that he was making a request to Kentucky's Attorney General Daniel Cameron to release as much as possible without having any ramifications on the 3 charges of wanton endangerment against a single police officer, but to release as much of the details and evidence, mind you, as possible, so that Kentuckians, and certainly those in Taylor's family and hometown of Louisville, have an understanding of how the grand jury came to the decision today in the indictment announced almost 200 days after 26-year-old Breonna Taylor was shot 6 times by police who stormed into her home using a no-knock warrant during a narcotics investigation. It was after they made entry that her boyfriend opened fire, claiming that he did not know it was authorities who were making entry into the residence. They returned fire, and Taylor was shot and killed, hit by 6 bullets. Earlier this afternoon, Attorney General Cameron saying the decision before his office, quote, as the special prosecutor in this case, was not to decide if the loss of Miss Taylor's life was a tragedy. The answer to that is unequivocally yes.
He went on to say, I understand that Breonna Taylor's death is part of a national story, but the facts and evidence in this case are different than others. If we simply act on emotion or outrage, there is no justice. Mob justice is not justice. Cameron's office says that police did announce themselves before busting down the door of the apartment that Taylor and her boyfriend Kenneth Walker lived in, and that Walker opened fire upon them doing so during the drug operation. As for the officer, former police officer Brett Hankinson, he was fired in June and today indicted on those 3 counts of wanton endangerment in the first degree and was ordered held on a $15,000 cash bond.
Those out there won't think that the switch I've got to make is callous, but we are still dealing with a worldwide health pandemic. And today we're reporting 796 new cases of COVID-19. 111 of them are in kids 18 or under. It brings our total number of cases to 63,517. And today we're reporting 5 new deaths, bringing our total death count to 1,124. So what I'd ask is everybody, including those that may march tonight or those that are going to go inside their house of worship, which I know was a call that was made and one that I support, please, please, please wear a mask. Especially if you're inside with a group of people, we need you to wear a mask. No one would want to turn a moment of unity, of giving voice, of trying to make progress into one that spreads a virus. So please make sure you do it safely. I know you will. But this is so important when, sadly, with inequality in healthcare, when our Black or African American community members contract COVID, right now they are more likely than others to pass away from it. We've already talked about one tragic loss today. Let's make sure that we prevent others.
The governor also saying that Kentucky's positivity rate has now gone up to 4.59%. The governor also touched on Halloween again, saying that he would be issuing some guidance, the state would, with health officials sometime later in the week. Now let's take a look at your Licking Valley RACC outlook. Looking at it, you will note that by this time next week, we are in the upper 60s again for daytime highs. Been there, done that in the past several days. What the forecast doesn't show, which I alluded to at the very top of the program, is what we'll be talking about as the days go on, and that is even much colder air possibly by the end of next week. But for now, let's talk about still the 70s, some clouds, and some shower chances. Yes, we've got plenty of time to talk about what could be the coldest air we've seen, well, since last spring, early spring. We've got time for that. So let's just focus on the good right now. A low of 59 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy skies, and calm winds will prevail. So a nice, albeit mostly cloudy evening ahead. Still dry. Can't guarantee tomorrow. For your Thursday, I think mostly cloudy skies start to finish. A 30% chance of showers. This is mainly after 3 o'clock and on till later on in the evening. Shower chances actually might even go up to 40% for the rest of Thursday evening. 72 for your high tomorrow, 58 for your low. And then clouds will start to give way to partly sunny skies on your Friday. Temperatures climb up to about 75. Shower chances are relatively small, a 20% chance. That's mainly before 3. So it should be a great night for Friday Night Lights. If you can get a ticket, remember the Hornets hosting Belfry this Friday night after 2 big wins to open their season. This could be an exciting game. And it will be so under about 65 degrees at kickoff, close to 60 by the time the game is over. Partly sunny, and I believe, like I said, shower chances are only early in the afternoon and not that night. Saturday is a nice start to your weekend, completely close to 80, as you saw. 79, mostly sunny. That 20% chance of showers is really not until Sunday morning, technically. So a beautiful first half to your weekend. Second half, not all that bad. You still got partly sunny skies. Still close to 80 on your Sunday. We do have a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms from any time from 11 in the morning on throughout your Sunday. So keep that in mind. And that pattern will take us on out through the first half of next week. Mid-70s Monday, right at 70 Tuesday and Wednesday, lows in the 50s each night, some sunshine and some shower chances across the board. And by the end of that, what you're looking at, we could be talking about some really cool air to follow. We'll see.
And that's it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you back here tomorrow night for more exclusive news and information on Your News Today. As well, we'll be talking about what's coming out or what is out by that time in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent. Good night.